Welcome to the Live Service Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Guns, and with me today is, of course, Brian. And boy, we we have a bit of a show today. So it's
That's an
the
understatement.
it is the yeah, that is an understatement. We're about halfway through E3. Sorry, we're about halfway through not E3. Um and so let me turn that off. There we go. We're about halfway through not E3, and we have a shitload of stuff to talk about in general, as well as specifics like games and things like that we've seen, and just our general thoughts on it as well. But I wanted to start today off with pizza. I
Wait,
have
is this the pizza I think you're talking about?
no. I had a power nap before the podcast, and it was a great power nap. Feel great, feel good. In my power nap, I was dreaming of shitty pizza, not even good pizza. You know when you like they grate they shred the cheese up, okay, and it gets on the pizza, and they don't warm it up enough, or it's shitty cheese and it's really waxy, so the cheese doesn't melt. It just kind of like spider webs on top of the pizza. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah, I hate that. I hate that type of cheese so
Yeah,
much.
right. It's so gross. My diet's killing me. I've been on such a strict diet. I had a dream about that pizza, and I was like, that doesn't actually look that bad. I want some of that.
Wow.
I-
Wow.
and it was the worst bit about it was that comment was made in my dream in my brain. It was like, look at that shitty spiderwebby cheese. I bet you that tastes delicious, because even shitty pizza is good, ladies and gentlemen. Even shitty pizza is good. But not as good as not actually no, this E3's not been that this not E3's not been that good so far.
Yeah, you remember last week when we were talking about like this is another indie year?
Yeah.
E3 is
Yep.
showing us that we were exactly right so far, which is not a bad thing. There's a few of them that really stood out to me that I'm really excited about too. But I think this E3 is riding on Microsoft Bethesda because like otherwise, I mean, there's a few things, but there's not a lot.
There are indeed a few exceptions, and I'm eating at the same time here, and we're gonna talk about some of those exceptions today of things that stood out. There have been like 6 showcases so far.
Yeah, just trying to keep up with all of them has been incredibly hard. I know that you've been trying to watch literally everything. I have been as well, but I know for a fact that there's 2 that I haven't happened because one happened today and I just didn't get a chance to get to it yet. And then apparently OTK Asmongold, they like announced one and did it within a few
Yeah.
days. I didn't even know that one was happening, so I missed it
Yep.
completely. So I've got to go back and watch that one, but all the others I've caught up on.
Yep.
While we
There
talk
was
about like
that one.
the overall, before we get into anything, while we talk about the overall thing, you want to know what like presentation wise, the one that impressed me the most?
Go on.
Limited run games. How the whole thing was like this long like FMV style skit, almost like a 90s FMV game where they're like, "Oh, we found more trailers." And presentation wise, I like that one because it was funny, and then it was trailer, then funny, then
Oh,
trailer,
I
trailer,
thought
trailer.
that one was awful.
I just like the fact, not the games they were showing or whatever. Some of them were good, but I like the fact that it was just trailers. They didn't go into a bunch of bullshit. They just kept showing trailers, and I liked that as a presentation mode rather than. I'm gonna be honest. Summer Games Fest, Jeff Keighley, your presentation this year was kind of. I mean, I was getting kind of bored. quite often.
To be
It's
honest
like, all
with
right,
you,
move on.
all right. So a lot of people have that reaction, especially on Twitter. They weren't super like woo about Jeff Keighley. I could not disagree more. I thought it was okay. Like, Jeff was Jeff. The Summer Games Fest was the Summer Games Fest. He just didn't have a lot to show this year, and I think what the Summer Game Fest is showing more than anything is that COVID really hurt developers more than people think.
Oh yeah, well, we said we'd be feeling the effects of it for years, and here we are.
Yeah, and I think it's because in 2020, if a video game came out, 90% of the work of that video game had already happened. In 2021, if a video game came out, like 70% of that video game had already been developed. So, again, we weren't going to see a lot of effects from the pandemic on those games or on those developers. But now we're getting to 2022, and it's like, okay, now we're starting to feel the effects of things, because otherwise these developers would have had another 1.5 to 2 years of solid development under their belt that they just don't have because of the pandemic. It's gone. So I really feel like we're starting to now feel the effects of the pandemic on developers, because like 90% of the shit that I've seen is pixel art video games that I fucking hate and loathe. A pixel art game has to be special for me to like it, because otherwise they all just look generically the same. And that's the other thing I'll say that I've noticed out of seeing all these goddamn pixel games back to back to back. Do something to stand the fuck out if you're gonna make pixel art in your game. People used to make pixel art games because the idea was novel and pixel art. We're like going back to the 90s, but now it's so fucking cliche. It's it is literally.
And then you have, because of this stupid war that's happening, you have the pixel art game that is doing the most to stand out wasn't there because they're
Yes.
impacted by the war, and that's insane. Like you
What was
don't
the
think
name of
about
them?
like how that impacts actual like video games and everything. It's wild.
What was the name of that game? I forget off the top of my head. This
Apologies,
is where you're supposed
allergies.
to have the answer.
No, sorry, I was sneezing there. That's by what is it? Sad Cat Studios. Damn it! Now I'm drawing a blank on the name. You messed me up, Guns. Mid sneezing.
Yeah, you're welcome. Summer Game Fest tweeted. Summer Game Fest said that
It's
we
replaced.
there you go. Yeah,
Yes.
replaced.
That game
Even
looks
Jeff
amazing. I'm
Keighley.
even in their Discord. But yeah,
Yes,
they've been having some issues.
it does indeed look amazing. Even Jeff Keighley came out and had a message on stage saying that hey, we're sad to see they're not here this year. But that is because they are affected by the Russia-Ukraine conflict, and there's not really anything they can do about it.
Yeah, they had what is it, a week or so ago they had put out like a notice saying that they were delaying the game and wouldn't have much to show around this time of year like they wanted to because of that. And like
Right.
Xbox is backing them and like helping them a lot because it's supposed to come to Game Pass and stuff. So like Xbox
Yep.
put out a statement, and then yeah, Jeff made theirs. That was I liked that he did that. I will say that I really
Which
liked.
can I just say, I have a sneaking suspicion. First off, Xbox killing it, Queen. Phil should get a raise. I have a sneaking suspicion for Game Pass. The Activision Blizzard Microsoft deal is going. It's funny that this reminded me of this. Have you watched the Devolver Digital Showcase?
Yes.
I could not stop laughing during that entire thing. That was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that one, I will agree. That one was also hilarious. I liked that one, and I liked the limited run games one, just for presentation wise.
That's what I was gonna say. Is that I disagree with you. I didn't like limited run games. I thought Summer Game Fest was fine, but so far the best conference has absolutely been the Devolver Digital Showcase. Oh my god. Um, absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And there's actually, now that I'm thinking about it, there's a few games that I want to grab from there.
Yeah, it's
Um,
not really like when you look at like Devolver and some of the other smaller ones like Day of the Devs and things like that. There's lots of games that have been announced, but they're all
oh
indie.
yeah,
And in what was in Summer Games Fest itself, it just felt like I don't know, like you said, it was probably impacted by COVID and some other things,
yeah.
and he just kept it the same length. He should have just shortened the show because it felt like he padded it out too long to me. Like there was just like cut it in half
Okay.
and you could put the same stuff in there.
So I do want to let's talk. Let's go ahead and talk about Summer Game Fest, which is the big show, and get it out of the way. Um, I do feel like the things that were that didn't make it in the Summer Game Fest was simply the fact that their big thing at the end got spoiled. Their big hoopla, which to be honest with you, it wasn't even all that great,
Yeah,
is The Last of Us
yeah.
Part 1
Whether or not
getting
it got
remastered.
yeah, whether or not it got spoiled, that was a weak ending. Like that's the end of your show. That's the big ender. I'm sorry, but like they didn't even
And
like they mentioned the whole Last of Us multiplayer thing in the sense that
yeah,
hey, we're still working on it. But
right.
that's it? A remake
Yep.
of a game that's already been remastered and we're still
Yep.
working on this? Like, I'm sorry, I just that wasn't doing it for me.
I agree. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. This was not really doing it for me. This was not the hot cakes. This was look, I understand like they're not remastering, they're remaking from the ground up. This game is completely brand new from the ground up, which I'll be honest with you, does it look pretty? Does it look better? Yes. Was it needed? No. No,
The
fuck
game is
no.
the
Who
game
the
is
fuck
less than a
wanted
decade
this
old.
remastered? Yeah, like yeah, it looks prettier. The models are better. Blah blah blah. And people's response is, "Well, just don't play it if you don't care." No, that's a stupid. That's a non-confrontational answer. And sorry, we're gonna have a confrontation about it. Why are they wasting their time remastering The Last of Us when they could be? And I'm not saying go work on The Last of Us Part 3, do something else. Have a team start off a small little extra project that inside whatever, I don't care. Do anything else. Um
It's money, man. They got the Last of Us TV show coming out and they want that synergy. So they want to try to
maybe
bring in as much money as possible.
maybe. The what they did announce beforehand that I am interested in is that there is a Last of Us multiplayer game that they are working on that is purely multiplayer. But they said is like, hey, there's a Last of Us multiplayer game. It's purely multiplayer. It's survival like in an open world with the Last of Us multiplayer system and that you seen and played, and that's it. That they're obviously it's very early in development. I think maybe this thing's been developing a year or two, max. So they're not going to talk about it right now. But and they take a really long time with their games because they like their games to be good. But I was just like a little like everyone's like, oh yeah, it's being remastered. I was like, who the fuck cares? Like actually, like sure it looks better or whatever, but no one was that like what's wrong? They literally like 4 or 5 years ago they remastered The Last of Us Part 1 to put it on PlayStation 4 and PC, and now they're doing it again. So yeah, it just felt like a very gross money grab to me, and I was just like, cool, not interested.
Yeah,
Moving on.
it was a poor ending to the show, in my opinion. There were some things in the show that got me very interested. Like I'm about to mention one of them, but I'm gonna mention it in another light. I would also say that this was Summer Games Fest, the space sh- the space one, because we have like Aliens, Callisto Protocol,
Oh,
flashback, sport
yes.
solus, routine. It was like every game was like a dark space game, like horror game or space, and I was like, the fuck? They're all the same thing.
So, okay. Do you want to go through all summer? Let's go through all Summer Game Fest. So they showed off Street Fighter 6.
Showed off Guile specifically, but yeah.
Yeah, and I was in love with this is being made on the Resident Evil engine, just like Monster Hunter World was. Um, and so to be honest with you, I'm very much looking forward to this. I really got into Guilty Gear Strive. This looks hot. This looks great. I was not a big fan of Street Fighter 4. I tried getting into it. I could not. The same can be said for Street Fighter 5. There's a lot of things about this game that are changed significantly. For those of you that watch a lot of fighting game community stuff, I watch a ton of stuff because I've always been into it. But Maximilian, he got to go sit in LA and play at Summer Game Fest play days. And he got to play 4 characters, and he has a ton of footage on it, and he talks about all kinds of stuff like push there's no more like push block normals. There's parries, and perfect parries are back, but like there's a lot of really cool stuff about it that I'm heavily interested in. That I want to get back into it. So I thought that was really cool. I'm excited about it. Unfortunately, apparently all 22 characters got leaked. All stages got leaked. All kinds of stuff got leaked. Basically all of this is out there. Leaked by somebody that's apparently an incredible, very credible inside source, who also leaked everything that was going to be at the PlayStation State of Play. And he was 100% correct. He also leaked all the stuff about Capcom, and he's also apparently leaked some stuff about the Xbox and Bethesda showcase. I've not purposely looked at it because I want to be surprised, but it's like, who the fuck does this dude work for that he has all this information?
Right? Like, what the fuck? I will say though that I'm not huge into the fighting game community. My brother is though. My brother loves it, and I will say this game, it looks really good. It looks tight, which is what I want from a Street Fighter game. So I think that was a good showing.
The Aliens Dark Descent trailer.
Yeah, CG trailer. They showed a little clip at the end, and you were like, "Wait, what type
of
gameplay? What type of game is this?" Because you barely got any gameplay, and it turns out it's like a strategic
isometric.
Isometric. Is I kind of like, I guess you would say like, damn. Now I'm drawing a blank on the XCOM
strategy.
Yeah, XCOM
yes.
and stuff like that. Yeah, but it was like they showed this cool thing and then showed like a few like top-down images and stuff. I was like, is this a twin-stick shooter? Is this Diablo? Is this XCOM? What? I had to go to their website to actually find out what it is. I was like, what the hell? Give me some actual gameplay so I know what I'm playing here.
Yeah, it also had me a little concerned at the beginning, where like you see like a person standing back there with the aliens, and I was like, are they fucking with the alien lore? What are they? You know, it was a little weird. I think it'll be fun to play though. When I first saw it, there's like you can see in the trailer here, there's a person standing there with like stuff shoved into their back, and they have guns and whatnot. And then the aliens come running by.
Yeah,
they have weird dark skin and like cables in them, so they don't look like, I don't know what to think of that. Maybe they're Prometheans or something, but I thought they were like fucking with the lore, and maybe they still. Oh, he actually shines the light on them. Looking at his face. I didn't want audio. Oh yeah, he's just like, it's very weird. All right. But I thought it looked interesting. I'm gonna jump to the gameplay because I don't really want to spend too long talking about it. Feel like
It
we got
looks
other things to
interesting.
talk about.
It's really going to come down to how they pull it off, because XCOM, these like what are they called, like 4X games or something like that. It really
Yeah.
comes down to the balancing in gameplay, because that is more important in this type of game than like anything else. And if you don't get that right, it's just not going to be a good game.
Speaking of, let me see if this. Nope, it goes to the Callisto Project, but I'm gonna skip around anyway because fuck you. No, actually, I shouldn't do that because then I'll get confused about the order. Anyway, Callisto Project. That was next
Protocol.
on the list. Protocol. Yep. They showed a extended gory trailer with some actual gameplay. And a lot of people were like, well, it looks a lot like Dead Space. And it took so much to retain the sarcastic sass in me of going, that's because it's made by the guy that made fucking Dead Space. Like,
Yep, him and some of the original devs like moved over to that team, and EA's doing like a Dead Space remake or whatever. But like, this is the actual people.
yeah. He's like, I'm just gonna go make my own new game. Fuck y'all, I can Dead Space without you. Because
Make
I
my own
believe
Dead Space with hookers and blackjack.
I believe he left after Dead Space 2, which is why Dead Space 3 is shit. And now we're here. And the Callisto Protocol looks very Dead Spacey. It looks so dead. If you said this is Dead Space, I'd have been like, okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have argued with you. But it looks like he's going for a new story, a new spin on it. Man, there's some fucked up stuff in this game. His brain. How do you not have nightmares when you just sit here and work on this kind of shit all day? Like, what kind of fucked up dreams do you have, bro?
I'm excited for it though. It looks like it's gonna be good.
Yeah, there's a lot of horror games. Holy shit, there's a lot of horror games. Like, just count the number of games that fall into horror coming out this year. Shit, even sci-fi horror, there's another one coming up that I'm actually pretty interested in, but it looks pretty messed up too. God, he just gets thrown into the grinder. Looks like they're doing a lot more with the environmental kills, and this dude literally gets his head just bit off.
Yeah, I think
Good
that's
Lord.
a kill animation, kind of like the old Resident Evil kill animation.
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
die, this happens.
They love to do that. They love to do all that gory shit where it's literally just horrendously grotesque kill animations and things like that. They are all about it. What did you think?
Yeah, I'm this. It looks good. I'm gonna try it out. It gives me Dead Space vibes, but it also kind of gives me like modern Resident Evil vibes.
A little bit, yeah.
I hope it's good.
All
I'm
right.
gonna try. I'm definitely gonna be trying it out. I like that it's still on some of the older systems too, because there's a lot of people that are like moving straight to the new systems, but I don't know how they're doing that with their games because there's a lot of stuff, a lot of people that still don't have new systems. So,
Fort Solis.
oh yes, this is like an
this is the
all-new
most.
IP.
This is the most uninteresting game to me that looks pretty. That contains Mr. NFT himself. This is what I hated about this entire yeah, there are way too many Dead Space style games coming. Way too many. This is the thing that killed me about this entire trailer right here. What's this game about? Can you tell me?
Nope.
Aside from the fact that they're
I don't know what the actual gameplay will look like either, because this could all be similar to gameplay, or I really don't know.
There's a man in another suit grabbing people and giving them hugs, and then you're punching him. And then, like, what is it? Just like a horror whodunit mystery? I don't care about that, dude. Like, with a weird, unique setting. I'd so much rather go watch like a frat party horror. And it has Mr. NFT himself, Troy Baker. I'll be honest with you, Troy's done a lot of things, but I kind of lost a lot of respect for him when he was like hard diving on it. He's like, no, guys, NFTs, I back this with all my character. I make a personal guarantee. And then a week later, hey guys, I'm sorry about all the NFT stuff. I take it back. And it's like, man, fuck you. Go fuck you. Just fuck you. All right, that's fuck you. Like, pick a lane.
This game reminds me. It's a horror space, but it reminds me of like those animation driven adventure games. And when I say that, I mean games like Uncharted.
Yes.
Things like that, where like you go
Without
somewhere
the
and it plays
action.
out the animation and you crawl through and blah blah blah, and kind of like what was it Jedi Fallen Order, the way like movement and everything worked in that. It just from the trailer it kind of like reminded me of that. But yeah, I didn't really see like much indication of like action or what the actual gameplay will be other than walking around and you know exploring.
Call me a stinker. I don't think Uncharted's that good.
I think the first one was great, and then the trilogy is good as a whole trilogy, and then 4 is great as like the end of a great story. But yeah, it's
I think they have good stories, but that's it. I don't think the action's even mildly redeeming for them. Like, sure, their story's fine if they made a movie out of it, which Sony then went and made a movie out of it, but they ignored the story. You dumb sacks of shit. Anyway, everybody's wondering why we're morbid over here, and Sony should know better than anybody, but yeah, here we are.
Morbid 2.
Witchfire looked like a really cool first-person shooter. I could have sworn I've seen this somewhere before.
Yeah, I think
but I didn't bother to look.
Wasn't this played at like what was it, the end of the year, like the game awards, or was it last year's Summer Game Fest? We saw like some stuff from this. I think
it might have been the Game Awards. Yeah, the Game Awards.
You skipped
this
one,
looks
though.
like did I? What?
The order on the website. Order on the website after Callisto Protocol. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
What was after Callisto Protocol?
A certain very famous first-person shooter.
Nope, you're just gonna have to say it, Brian.
Modern Warfare 2.
Oh, we'll get there.
Okay, I was like, are you skipping it for a reason, or?
Yeah, I did it. I just clicked things, and I clicked a different trailer because it was on a different show too. Anyway, Witchfire looks like a medieval D&D first-person shooter. Blah blah blah. Looks cool. Go check it out. I closed out the trailer, so we're moving on. On accident. Then there was Routine.
Yeah, this one I really wanted to talk about because this game was announced like almost a decade ago or something like that, right? And then we just didn't hear nothing about it forever. And then now all of a sudden it's re-revealed. I'm like, what?
Yes.
This is dead.
I did not recognize this game until, and this is my question, is he literally showing us, like, okay, this gave me, like, some serious Control vibes right here. Which, God, I can't wait for Alan Wake 3.
Oh,
I'm so excited for that game. This gave me some pretty serious Control vibes. And then I'm trying to get to the point where it fucking... There. Okay. Is he showing us, hey, this is what I had in 2010? 2011? Because that's a huge graphical step. Like, kudos to that guy for spending all the time, the dev team for spending all the time they did on it. It shows.
Yeah,
or maybe this is like footage of the like before and after the disaster or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure because it's definitely a graphical bump, but it could be they could be playing with that in the game being like a before and after thing, like you were talking about. I don't know. I do know that like the guy worked on it for the longest time, like by himself or something like that, and then he finally like hired some people and brought them in, and now it's an actual like team doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess this is the difference having a team behind you can make.
It looks like it takes place on a station. It's very cyberpunk horror,
Yeah,
which if I
cyberpunk space
tolerate,
horror.
yeah, I don't tolerate horror that well. This gun right here. I didn't recognize this game until I saw this gun. And then the moment that I saw this gun, I was like, wait a minute. Like yeah, I was like, I've seen this game before. It's like a CRT monitor gun. But yeah, I think it looked super cool.
It looks very
And
interesting, but this is also still like I want to see actual gameplay footage, not a trailer gameplay like this. I want to see how
right,
it
I
plays.
agree. I think it's going to end up being survival horror where you have to run from the monster, and if that's the case, then I'm uninterested again because I hate survival horror. I don't remember if this was shown at the Summer Game Fest or not, but it was shown at some point, and it was very disappointing. Frost Giant Studios, ex-Blizzard developers, are working on a new RTS, and they showed it off somewhere.
Well,
I don't fucking
they,
remember.
it was at Summer Games Fest. They showed off a CGI trailer. They didn't really show it off. I was excited for there to be like a new RTS, like new IP, an actual new RTS, but you didn't really show me anything. Like what?
Exactly. That's why I was really like, kind of like, "Meh, you didn't show me anything, so I kind of don't care."
But I got that
But
feeling a lot from this not E3. I hate to say it.
yes. Oh my god, I got the feeling of not giving a shit so much this E3 too, and I think that was just like an overwhelming sense of just like, moving on. And I think it's because we didn't. There's no Ubisoft this year. They're not announcing anything. I mean that just shows how heavily this is affecting the games industry. So we're having to go to a whole ton of other people for any kind of press conference, right? E3 Ubisoft is showing nothing. EA is showing nothing. Uh Activision, they have some kind of like pressing briefing whatever where they talk about some stuff. They released a trailer, that was it. And they're obviously, I mean, they're showing Call of Duty at other places and whatnot. But again, that's it. Sony had a really meager state of play that was super uninteresting. Um, we talked about that last week. It's just like I really feel and oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say a lot of my hopes are riding that some of the rumors that I've heard about the Xbox
Yes.
showcase are true, because a lot
Mm-hmm.
of what we've seen is, here's a CGI trailer, here's a CGI trailer, here's a CGI trailer. Some of them are cool, but they're still just CGI trailers, and some of them are just like meh. But I've heard that based on feedback from last year, Jeff came away from it basically saying next year we're gameplay focused. We're barely going to have any CGI trailers, and this entire showcase is going to be
Jeff,
like 75 to 80% gameplay.
you mean Phil?
Yes, sorry, I don't know why I said Jeff. I'm thinking Jeff Keighley. Sorry, I got
Yeah.
them both in my head right now. But Phil, Phil came away. I had heard a rumor about that this is going to be like mostly gameplay. There will be a few CGI trailers, but he like made it a thing that like if you're bringing something to this, it has to be gameplay focused.
I will say there was one show that I liked a lot as well. Devolver Digital was funny, and there were some really good shows or some really good stuff from that. But the Future Games show had the voice actor of Geralt and Yennefer sitting there, just literally doing commentary as Geralt and Yennefer in between trailers, and so it was like, haha, funny trailer, haha, and it was that for like an hour. That was fantastic. Why do we not get voice actors on screen? Like, could you imagine Christopher Judd up at a Sony press conference and just be like, "Boy, do you want to see the next trailer, boy?" It was like,
Right?
what? Why are they not doing that? I would be highly entertained. How much does it cost to hire him out for 45 minutes? Just fucking do it already. Um, so yeah, there's that. Stormgate looks super uninteresting to me, just in general. It literally looked like, oh, so this is StarCraft, but instead of Zerg, it's demons. Okay, I'm out. I've played StarCraft. I don't really care what you have. There were some screenshots that even had like some Zergling like enemy types in there and some broody looking demons, and so I was just like, bleh. I've played StarCraft. I don't care. I don't want to play this again. So that was my thoughts on it. And then some people are gonna think I'm fucking fanboying and like I'm just like wetting the bed or whatever. But like, listen.
No, yeah, this is what I've been waiting for you to talk about because I have a question for you, Guns.
This looked really good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is Call of Duty back? Like, are we back? Like, this looked great to me.
So I wanna like look at the fucking, first off, just look at the water. There's only one other water that looked nearly as good, and it was from Sea of Thieves, but it only looked as good in demonstrate or in physics, not graphical. God, this game looks so fucking good. And I'm actually gonna, once we get up there and the shooting's going on, I'm gonna turn up the audio, because their audio system continues to deeply fucking impress me for a first-person shooter. Like, he moves in and out of rooms and the audio changes so aggressively. It's insane.
So, cut right clear through.
Yeah, for a while when they were playing this, I was like, this is, you know, like scripted, like AI playing this. But then he started doing things that like I recognized that people do, not like and I'm like, oh shit, this is a guy just trying to show off the stuff in this particular manner. He's playing this way on purpose, but still, like, this is good. I mean, to me, this looks good. This looks like Call of Duty. This looks
the snap and the crispiness that these gunshots have. I'm a fanboy for a second. It was just insane, and I said, hey, clearly, you know, this game was made in America because they just shot an unarmed man. But it was so crispy, and like, just it was good. It was nice. It was on point. Graphically, fantastic. I mean, it's a Call of Duty. They're graphically fantastic every year. I am so much more interested in the multiplayer this year. I don't give a shit about the story. I'll be completely honest with you. Who cares about a fucking 4-hour story from Call of Duty? I'll be honest with you, because the story lacks so much, I feel like they make the multiplayer, they make their multiplayer maps, and then they say, cool, how do we fit a story in these levels? And then we just add some extra set dressing around these levels. Oh, I want to point out the sound.
Modern Warfare stories have been the best of them, so.
I want to point out the sound of this flashbang is dead on. I've heard an actual flashbang. It is dead on. It's not a just a loud crack and a it's a foosh. Because it's because of how it activates, it's very whooshy. And I feel like they have gone to an extra length of research to figure stuff out this time around. Sorry, I keep having to clear my throat, so I'm muting here so you don't hear it. I'm coughing like crazy right now. But it looks graphically fantastic. I want to play the multiplayer. I want to see the multiplayer. What I'm super interested in is, number one, the revigoration of Warzone. Okay? That's my first thing I'm interested in. The second thing I am interested in is this. There are rumors that this is their big team battle mode has 100 people in it. I don't remember what the last one had. Plus, I can hear myself. I could for a second. I can't now. Okay, anyway. It has 100 people plus 300 AI.
So 400. Wait. Wow.
Bodies on screen moving, yeah. Super interesting. So yeah, people are assuming they're also going to use that for Warzone, and Warzone is going to be PvEVP. Which I think will be dope if that is the case.
Yeah, see, I'm wondering how they're going to do the multiplayer moving forward, because multiplayer games these days have become less of like, oh, we're playing multiplayer on this Call of Duty, and then when the new one comes out, we drop it and we move on. People are playing the same multiplayer, just getting it updated over and over. So the old style of Call of Duty multiplayer doesn't really fit that anymore. So I wonder if they're going to try
Right.
to change that up some with this.
The other thing that they are doing, that I am very, very interested in, is that all Call of Duties are now on the exact same engine. It used to be that they were on a bunch. There was like 3 different engines that each studio operated on. Like Warzone was not the same studio as the current Call of Duty, was not the same studio that Ravensoft was working on, was not the same studio that Treyarch, or sorry, I'm saying studio, not the same engine that Treyarch was working on. So when something was implemented, it had to be implemented 3 fucking times. Now they are apparently moving to a singular engine that will be used and upgraded for the indefinite rest of Call of Duty's development.
Yeah, I know you don't care about like campaign, like you said, but like this part just seems really fun and cool to me with the moving pieces and they put
Yeah.
a lot more into the whole moving pieces sliding back and forth and everything. Like I can't think of a lot of games that have done something like that. I remember like Destiny 2, that one mission had the things moving, but you didn't really interact with them at all. But this seems so much more interesting and interactive. Like this looks like a cool set piece. Like if you can make a multiplayer map out of this where it keeps rocking like that, that would be insane. Imagine that.
Yeah. Oh my god, it'd be so cool. I literally said this is the coolest set piece I've ever seen in a very long time. And I used to enjoy playing Call of Duties because they had very cool set pieces. And they've not had very cool set pieces in very long times. I would like to get back to playing Call of Duties because they have very cool set pieces. Like the coolest thing out of Modern Warfare 1 was when you were with the SWAT team invading the home. And that was literally it. Everything else felt very truncated and stuff like that. This, more ingenious, inventive stuff like this that's interesting to play through and fun. And, like I would love to see more stuff like this. It's great.
Yes.
And to be honest with you, I might play through the single player, because of how interesting this set piece looks. But I'm gonna tell you something else. This is the genius of Xbox that I'm calling it. The Activision Blizzard Xbox deal's going through. It just is, right? No one's gonna stop it.
It probably would have been stopped by now if it were going to be. Like there's going to probably be a few more court cases, but it's 90% likely to go through.
I guarantee you tomorrow. Now on Game Pass, day 1.
That would be insane. That would be huge.
Yep. Or they're going to do it. Game Pass, day 1. They're going to do it because this is why they're going to do it. Sony still gets exclusivity to early DLC, but Xbox is just going to be like, or you could have it for free, bitch. And it's like, yeah, we'll keep your exclusivity deals, Sony, for however long they are. Whatever, go away. And they'll be like, but it'll be, look, they can buy it, especially with the $70 game. How Sony's trying to like, Sony and Activision are trying to like slowly roll it in there, like $70 now.
Yeah, honestly, that's the most egregious thing about that Last of Us remake too. That they want to sell it to you again for $70. That is
Oh
not.
yeah,
That's not like a $30 or $40 remake, or you own it, so you just pay for the upgrade. No, you have to pay $70 and buy it.
Look, here's why no one's going to $70 isn't going to work. Consumers are going to rally against this really hard. You trying to increase price. Here's why. If you were struggling to make money for every game selling at $60, we would understand and we would probably pay 70. Everybody knows you're not struggling to make any money whatsoever. Video games is the largest entertainment industry in the world statistically by monetary value, and it is by a fucking enormous margin. Not a tiny one. Huge. All right? Huge. If you were like, listen, we're only making like a 10% profit on this game, so for a $60 game that we sell, we make $10. Can we have another $10? I'd have been like, you know what? Yeah, sure, $70. Nah, fuck you. Y'all are making like $36, $37 a game. And now you want to make close to $46, $47 a game?
Yeah, it's also like it speaks to like I know that Sony is still the biggest when it and depending on how you look at it. But it speaks to how they're not as influential as they thought or maybe once were, because they made the switch to 70. They're like, we're just making it, and they like expected everyone to follow them. And like Ubisoft and Xbox both came out and like publicly stated, no, we're not doing that. And then like the rest of them just didn't talk about it and haven't done it. So like, y'all messed up. You thought, the industry was just gonna follow suit, and they didn't.
I just want to state, like, years ago, not years ago, when Windows 10 came out, and the Game Pass on PC, or no, it was even before then. I said at some point Microsoft is going to be putting all of their Xbox games on PC just as much as they are Xbox. It was when the Xbox One came out. That's when. When the Xbox One came out, then they're saying the Xbox One is basically just a PC. I was saying at some point Xbox is going to be putting all of their games on PC just like they are Xbox. And Sony's going to have nowhere to go or nothing to do because everybody owns a home computer. And with their streaming services and Game Pass, which turned out to be true because we're going to talk about this in a second, their streaming services and Game Pass, Sony's going to have nowhere to go. Absolutely nowhere. They're going to have to go to Xbox. And Sony's going to become a publisher, not a console manufacturer. They're going to have to play ball with Microsoft. They're just going to have to. And they're not going to be influential anymore because they won't be able to sell consoles, because who the fuck would buy a $500 machine when your Samsung TV can stream video games from Game Pass, which, by the way, is an update coming next week to Samsung TV. Say it with me. Sony is fucked.
By the way, that's not all. It was yesterday or today that they also announced that if you own a game for Xbox, you can stream it anywhere. It doesn't have to be a stream, the game you got for streaming or a Game Pass game or whatever. Like I, bought like an actual disc version of this game 3 years ago. I own it. Once this new update goes through, this is something they're working on, not the Samsung one, but the next one. I own it. It'll be in my library. I can, wherever I'm at, I can log into my account, and they recognize that it's in my library, and I press fucking play just because I already own it. Everything that's in your library will be playable through streaming.
I'm telling you, so Xbox is literally going to become. No one's stopping it, but they are. Maybe Sony will keep giving it the good college try, and I kind of hope they do so they don't have a monopoly. Obviously, Nintendo will, because Nintendo doesn't give a fuck, dude. Nintendo's like, hey guys, we're making handhelds over here. You want to
I
play?
mean,
You want to play
Nintendo
Mario?
Nintendo consumers are just like, yes, give it to me, Nintendo. I'll give you all my money. So I mean, why
I'm
would
gonna
they
be honest
change?
with you. You're right. I think Nintendo consumers are brainwashed. Although I think
mean,
the new Pokemon looks cool. Scarlet and Violet looks neato. I kind of want to play it because it has open world co-op Pokemon, and like that's all I've ever wanted from Pokemon TBH.
yeah, I don't know. This looks really good. If they get this on Game Pass, that'll be a huge win for them. They've already got a few things that they announced in shows already that are going
What?
to be on Game Pass that I'm like, oh,
Who's
whoa.
gonna tell them
What?
no, Brian? They own. Listen, they own Activision.
Yeah, true. I mean, not yet, but yeah, they do.
But yeah, right. Yeah, not yet. But here's the thing: Phil's gonna go to Bob and be like, "Hey, we're gonna own you in 9 months anyway. Let's just go ahead and start putting stuff on Game Pass." Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Good. Good talk. Good talk, Bobby.
Yeah, and let's be honest. He's more worried about his parachute right now than anything else. He's just gonna say yes to everything. Sure, yeah, you can have it.
Exactly.
I'm getting that big check, right? Yep. Okay, good. Yep, you can do it.
Satya Nadell is like, how can I get rid of this son of a bitch without paying him $47 million? Yeah. Speaking of Nintendo, Mario Strikers came out with a weird ad slogan, so much fun it hurts. That's an advertisement line used for like a BDSM dungeon, not a Switch game.
Oh, I forgot.
So I'm not really sure. And actually, now that I think about it, if there's not a BDSM like dungeon somewhere in the world that you can like rent all called So Much Fun It Hurts, we have failed as a society. But moving on, Mario
You did
Strikers.
skip one. Sorry, go ahead. You're not done with
Well,
Mario Strikers yet.
Yeah, we'll get. There's still some more things I have. I don't know if you've seen the top of my screen. I got like 12 more trailers of shit that I'm halfway interested in. But Mario Strikers came out and it's getting really shitty reviews. People aren't. They're not. They don't. They're not happy. Which I think is good. I think Nintendo needs to be kicked in the dick every once in a while to remind them that, no, you still have to actually make good games.
Yeah, this would be like, well, I mean, didn't that happen with, what was it, the Pokemon before, the ones that are coming out now, where everybody was pissed at them for that stuff, and then, yeah.
Yeah, I still think that's a problem, but let's see.
But something I wanted to bring up, we just have to talk in passing. I want to bring up the great marketing move that was Goat Simulator 3.
Oh, yeah, hang on. I've got the trailer here somewhere. Hold up.
Because, yes, we said Goat Simulator 3. Please don't ask about Goat Simulator 2, because, you know.
All right.
For
For those of you that have never seen this, stop right now and go watch the Dead Island 2 trailer. Okay?
We'll wait.
Yeah, we'll wait. Okay. Now that you're back, this... Oh, is this the different... This is a different trailer.
Oh, yeah, which one are you playing here? This is...
I don't know. I've never seen this trailer before. What? This is at the Epic Games Showcase, apparently.
Oh. Yeah, this is a new one. This is not the one I watched, yeah.
Yeah, no, this is kind of... Hang on, I'll find the right one. Wow, this is,
Here, I got you. I just sent it to you.
Oh, it says video. Oh, wait, no, I got it.
Yeah.
Motherfucker. Technology today. years ago, Dead Island 2 released a trailer, and it looked worse than this. It looked it looked about the same as this, to be honest with you. But this said Coffee Stain Studios, and I was like, oh, okay, Coffee Stain, you know. And Jeff with the fucking bait. Oh, I'm so mad at that man. He said, we've been waiting for the sequel to this game for a long time, and the developers have finally really taken a bite out of it. And I was like, what? That sounds zombie bait. Sequel? Zombies? And then this trailer started, and I was like, no way. No fucking way. And then the first thing that tipped me off was this right here. And I was just like, what? That's weird. Weird to show a play. Like, usually you would use some kind of generic song that fits the whatever. They really wanted to show the playlist. And then that smile. And then I was like, oh, okay, the song kind of fits though. So I guess it works. And then I go.
Yeah, if you haven't played the game itself, it's just, you know, stupid fun. But yeah, they also, in case you didn't know, this is Goat Simulator 3. Don't ask about Goat Simulator 2, because it doesn't exist. That's the joke. They're just making you talk about it. That's good advertising. They're just like, yeah, shh. Don't worry about that. Play Goat Simulator 3.
God, this baited us so hard.
Right?
I
thought it was funny.
We're gonna play the Dead Island 2 trailer. Just because I hadn't seen it in such a long time. And it was a fantastic trailer. Oh yeah, Sony Deep Silver. God, how old is this?
What year does it say?
8 years. 8 years. Look how close it's the same thing.
Tying the shoe. Yep.
What? Even the goat? Out. Oh my god. And then he covered up the bite. And then the zoom in on the audio, and he turned it up, and I was just like, what in the world?
Yeah, they on purpose baited people with that. I thought it was hilarious though. Just wonderful.
Even the girl!
Oh, I didn't notice. Yeah, you're right. Even the girl flipping them off and everything.
Like, how far? If there is a rowing shop with an oar, oh my god, dude. The car, even the car, but it's a limousine now. I swear to God, they full sent it, dude.
They went 100%. I cannot believe it. This is wow. Like, I knew it was close, but I hadn't watched this in so long, just like you. Wow, it is. Whoa.
A rowing, listen, you know what I mean, a kayak shop, whatever. Oh yeah, and then he starts turning. That was... Oh, and it's a toupee, and it just flies off. And he had muscle implants. But yeah, everyone's still waiting for, listen, a rowing shop. Motherfucker, I said what I said. Dead Island 2, man. Maybe one day. Alright. So this game, this Gotham Knights, this looks weirdly shitty.
Yeah, they did I mean, this is their big thing was like, what was it, like a month ago or something like that? They did like
Yep.
a big thing about it and showed off gameplay, and I was just like, y'all. I mean, it could be just like the person they got showing their playing the game is crappy, but it just don't look that great.
Or the game
And
could be crappy. There,
yeah, I know, and but that's what I'm saying. Like everything they've shown since is kind of like I was expecting more.
like the
Like when they first
animations look
announced
fine.
this, I was really excited, but the more I've
Yeah,
seen,
same.
like my expectations have gone down.
Down. The animations look fine, but the combat itself together looks shitty. The UI looks shitty. It looks like a buggy mess. It
Oh
looks
yeah, the
like
UI looks horrible.
It looks like a budget version of Arkham Knights. Like a real budget version. And let's be honest, everybody just wants to be Batman.
I mean, I'm actually a
like
big fan of Nightwing in the comics.
I think
but
Nightwing's
this
cool too, but yeah.
this not so much.
I do want to jump from one type of love to another. Here's 20 minutes of Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Yeah, this is a game that I'm also.
I thought this looked awesome, and this is made by the guys that made XCOM, Firaxis, I think their name is. There was an article that came out that really fucking pissed me off because nobody's asking this question. The interviewer asked this question, and as far as I care, he can go suck a giant chode because you're an asshole for asking this question. In his interview, he's like, what about fans that are concerned about XCOM? Is the franchise dead? Is it ever coming back? And it was like, bro, fuck you. They have been working on this game for God knows how long. They're showing it off here at E3, and your question is, XCOM 3, this isn't good enough. Like, what a cunt you are, dude.
So this game to me was, I want to say, similar to how I felt about Gotham Knights, but in the opposite direction. As in, everything that I had seen about this game was them talking about the type of game it was, and then showing off like cutscenes and cinematics. So I was like, I was starting to get very, very worried. Like, why am I not seeing gameplay? You know, and my hype level was like, I was just like, I don't know about this game. You know, but then yeah, they showed this, and I was like, all right, now my interest has gone up instead of down because you actually showed me what the game is and what it's like. Because when they first described it, and you know, as like a tactical card game, and then they wouldn't show anything except for like the cutscenes and stuff, I was just like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this at all. Like, but
yeah,
the gameplay convinced me. This is why you need gameplay.
Yeah, gameplay sells it or kills it, to be honest with you. So it's XCOM but with superheroes. It's literally all it is. The card system is just a method for deploying combat moves. I think it looks dope. I like XCOM. So a superhero styled XCOM I think will be a ton of fun. Neon White. Oh, go ahead. Do you have something else?
No, I was gonna say, yeah. Marvel's been, you know, very hit or miss for the longest time. Miss on like any games they put that weren't mobile games, because their mobile games always make money, even though I hate mobile games. It was like Spider-Man was good, but then a lot of stuff before that was awful. You know what I mean? But this looks like it's gonna be pretty good.
Neon White is like an anime gacha game, I think. Oh, no. I apologize to this game because this looked dope as shit. Sorry, there's been so many gachas recently. Like, okay, NetEase had their stream talking about Once Human, which we'll get to, but then Hoyo, the guys...
Yeah, I think you were talking about, what is it, Zenless Zone Zero or something that's made by,
I wasn't talking about...
people.
I was talking... So not that one, no. They have a second one, and it's like a space sci-fi one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's a turn-based combat space sci-fi gacha game made by Hoyo or whoever their name is. The guys that make Genshin Impact. And along with ZZZs and Zone Zero, because people are asleep. Yeah, but, okay. This game, I saw it, and it's very, very anime-esque. which I think maybe could, if they deploy the humor correctly, could be hilarious. I hope they do. But it's like a very fast-paced first-person shooter. So, and it's coming out June 16th with a lot of like level stuff like that. And some people that have played it said it was awesome and they loved it. So I'm looking forward to this one. The other Genshin Impact games, the people that make Genshin Impact, I don't have them on this show. I don't believe, I don't have the trailers up. I don't want to talk about them. They're shitty gacha games. They do nothing but drain your money. I'm like, dude, I spent. Oh my god, we gotta talk about Diablo Immortal. No, we're not going to though. Maybe at the end of the show. No, because we want to end on a positive note. Okay, just so me and Brian were talking about this. Diablo Immortal's legendary crest and the free ones that it give you are two different ones. They're not even the same. They have different rates and odds. This is why they have to this is why we should make them legally reveal our percent chances to us. Anyway, I'm sorry. Blizzard's an evil company. Diablo Immortal NetEase, the guy that's heading the charge, he's a piece of shit. Fire him. Anyway, Neon White looks cool. Moving on.
Is it time to talk about the good pizza
game?
Oh no, we're talking. Oh yeah, this looks good too.
God, okay, first off, I loved Vermintide, but it was not my cup of tea. And I still liked it. It was good, but it was not my aesthetic. This is my aesthetic. Because it's Warhammer, cyberpunk, military, whatever, you know. And it looks
40K.
Fucking good. It's a good 40K game, Brian. I can count the number of those that we have on one hand.
Yeah, I know a few people that are extremely excited for this. It looks really good. I'm excited as well. Maybe not the same levels though, because I know a few people who are huge Warhammer fans, and they are going to, yeah. I might not see them for a while when this comes out.
I played Deathwing, and what was super disappointing to me about Deathwing was the fact that it just didn't. The aesthetics were fine. It made you feel. It looked like it was part of Warhammer, right? But it didn't feel like it. The combat was very soulless, and I feel like the combat needed to be on point. The combat in this, if you're watching the gameplay right now, looks fucking fantastic. Because it showed several things off here that made me just like super excited for it. First off, it showed you fighting somebody in melee one-on-one with an almost chivalry-like system. Now, if they've taken the melee system from Vermintide and improved it a little bit, it could very much be that. But Vermintide's melee system was great. The other thing that it shows me is a very clear gunplay system, which I wanted out of this a lot. And so there's melee and gunplay in this, so they're mixing both of these elements together, and it looks like there's some really serious, brutal melee as well.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot like they took what they had and improved on it, but they took some inspiration from Doom. You know, it looks like they pulled from that to make sure that the combat really felt like it. I just see the Doom in it some. You know, it's there, and I'm just like, yes, that's what you needed. But it also like a 40K game.
Yes, it also has this weird. Yeah, you're totally right. Like Doom with the Demon Slayer has this just like the music kicks in and you know, and you just start killing shit. And there's blood and gore everywhere, and you're ripping shit apart, and you feel like a badass. No Warhammer game has that except for now maybe Darktide. And that's what it you know, it needed to make you feel just like a badass. That's why I really hope. I'm still holding out hope that eventually one day we get a Space Marines game where it's co-op, you and a bunch of people are playing Space Marines going through a bunch of scenarios. But fuck, this looks fantastic. This looks fantastic from the ground. The combat looks great. The environments look great. It's got that signature Warhammer weird aesthetic to it. You know how some things in Warhammer are just fucking weird. Like the skull that he puts on the desk that's got the spider legs. Like, that's weird. And that's the kind of weird that I'm there for with a Warhammer game, right?
I was happy to
So
see the
it's
chainsaw sword too. So yes.
yes. It's got all those aesthetics that I need, that I want from this game. I'm so excited to play this. I'm gonna have a blast with this on stream. Um, yeah. Anything else about this game?
I just hope it's got really good co-op.
Yes. I think it will, because like I said, it's from the guys that did Vermintide. Oh, and I love seeing the unique weapons that are Warhammer, like the giant plasma. You ever watch Astartes?
I have not. I don't know what that
It's
is.
the war. It's an 11-minute Warhammer short
Oh,
that
I'll have
was
to look
made
that
by
up.
a solo guy over years, and it is super high def. And the aesthetic that it breathes is like the Warhammer aesthetic I think everybody imagines in their head, but nobody's ever gotten in a video game. And now that like the whole internet's seen that as Astartes, it's like, okay, well, if you're not doing that, you're not doing a worthwhile Warhammer 40k game. You're just not. But yeah, this next one I am very excited about, Nightingale. I don't know if they've given a release date on this. It is very much a survivor game or a survival game. Gather resources, build, a home, yada yada yada. But what I'm most interested in about this game is that there's been some additional footage and stuff like that. There are port cards. They haven't talked about how extensive the system is or how many there are. It may be that there's only like 11 unique worlds and that's it. But these port cards take you to different environmental locations. And so somebody was like comparing them to like maps in Path of Exile, and I was like, I don't know about that. Because like it didn't seem complex enough for that. But there was a very large Feywild type of sense to the aesthetic of this game and the feeling, and
Yeah, this is the one that we saw at the Game Awards, and we were talking about. It had that like new age, as in guns are a thing now and everything like that, colonial type thing, but also like the Feywild mix. And I was like, that's a really like that's a genre mashup that you've like never seen before. It's really unique. I remember us talking about this.
Yeah, but I'm here for it, dude. I think it looks dope. The base building, the plane jumping, the art style. I think it
like
looks fantastic.
Steampunk and Feywild mixed together.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm here for it. I think it looks dope.
I'm ready to see some gameplay. Like an actual like gameplay like I'm talking about like a full segment where I can see like
okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like how that actual gameplay loop plays out.
Sure, yeah. Being developed in Unreal Engine 5, nobody cares because it's not a Silent Hill game. Layers of Fears. Instead of calling it Layers of Fear 3, we have Layers of Fear 1, Layers of Fear 2, and Layers of Fears.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Moving on, because that's fucking dumb. Warhammer Rogue Trader. This is made by Owlcat. So if you know who Owlcat is, you know what to expect here. If you don't, you don't. Looks good. I like it, the anime style, all that fun stuff. This came from the OTK Games Expo. And I think this looks neato. This is Samurai Zero. It's a third-person blade fighting game, and I was watching gameplay of this, and it reminded me of a game called Guns, G-U-N-Z. Where there's wall running, parrying, blocking, combos, with melee weapons. The difference is that game also had guns in it as well. Not me, actual pew-pew. But this looked hella dope. And it's still in beta right now. They only have 2 characters at the moment. It's still in development. They're not showing anything else of it. I thought it looked neat.
Is it a PvP game?
Yep.
Interesting, because yeah, that's the show I haven't gotten a chance to watch yet. So I had not seen this until you're playing it
It
on
was
stream here.
weird and lasted way too long, and didn't show a lot of good stuff. And but occasionally there was some good humor in there from the OTK guys. That's about it. That's all I need to know about that. All right, NetEase literally showed this today. It's another survival game. Okay, there's too many fucking survival games. We just got V Rising, which is a Survivor vampire game. Nightingale is about the last one that I can stomach.
Games of the year.
Yes, so far. Nightingale is probably the last Survivor game that I can stomach. But NetEase also has this game coming out, which has like Eldritch Horrors mixed into it. So this is like, who's the guy that made Cthulhu?
That would be H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah, there you go. They said this game is very
horrors.
H.P. Lovecraft inspired. Yeah. So yeah, I think it looks neat.
I like the design of the monsters that I'm seeing, and I can see the Lovecraftian mix that you said there. But yeah, I don't know if I want another survival game.
It's another survival game. Yeah, it's made by NetEase.
Maybe
by the
there's
way,
something that'll make it stand out, you know. But at the moment, I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. I'll have to look into it.
If you didn't know, NetEase are the people that made Diablo Immortal. So I'm kind of like looking at this game like, okay, where's the credit card transactions, guys?
Yeah, maybe there's something that'll make it stand out in a bad way, and I really won't like it.
Yeah, okay. Do Not Open, psychological horror. Apparently it's a game about trying to get out of your own house.
Got a lot of horror games this year, you know?
I was literally telling you at the start of this, bro. Horror games are everywhere. Saints Row, Boss Factory, which is apparently just creating your own character. Alright, inclusion is great and everything like that, and I think allowing people to be whoever they want to be is a necessary thing that you have to have, okay? Be who you want to be, right? This game's trying too hard. It is trying way too hard to be like, you can be whoever you want. It's like, do we need that? I don't know that we need. All right, okay.
I mean, this is what Saints Row is, isn't it? Over the top, trying too hard.
Not if you looked at Saints Row 1 and 2, and now this is the reboot, which I guess is going more towards 3 and 4 and Get Out of Hell.
Yeah, the 1 and 2 were basically GTA. They haven't been that in a long time.
So yeah, this is what it is now. Okay. I want to talk about this for a minute. Outriders World Slayer looked hella interesting. Because it literally looked like they are adding a rogue-lite system to Outer Worlds. Outer Wilds? Outriders. Fuck! Y'all stop starting your games with O's. You pieces of Outworlds, Outer Wilds, Outer Worlds, Outriders.
Lots of outs.
Oh. It looked like they're adding a it looked like they were adding a rogue-lite system to the end of this. To the end game, basically. Along with the new story campaign for the DLC. With unique boss fights and stuff like that. Which is all the stuff we wanted them to focus on from the game. And it honestly looks super interesting. And I'm super here for it.
I am super here for it as well. I just hope that they're okay. Because they're still under Square Enix. They're the only ones still under Square Enix. And apparently they've
you're right.
apparently they've gotten no money from Square Enix because they haven't made enough money to get money from Square Enix off Outriders. So I'm like, please do well. I hope this does well, and I hope they're
What?
okay.
That's so shitty.
Yeah, like apparently what Square Enix gave them from the original development thing, they haven't had enough money made in sales to start getting any like dividends after that. You know?
So wait, Square Enix. Well, Square Enix doesn't own them, right?
No, Square Enix owns Outriders. Doesn't own
Right.
the studio, or maybe they do own the studio. I don't. I'd have to double check.
No,
But they
people
own
can. They
Outriders.
can't. They don't own People Can Fly. I know that. This is the people that. So People Can Fly made this game, and then Square Enix, I'm guessing, gave them initial funds to fund the game. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they've not given them any money from sales.
Well, it's they got given like so much to make the game, and I guess some of that was like they put aside for DLCs and stuff, and then they had to make so much in sales, make that investment back, and then after that they would start earning actual like royalties, and apparently they hadn't.
I
The last that I'd heard, which was
feel
last month, it hadn't actually made enough for Square Enix to ever pay
so
them a dime afterwards.
so I feel like either A, that is a dumbass business decision on the part of People Can Fly. Why would you ever make a deal like that? Like that, to be frank, it's like, yeah, we don't guarantee you get paid. Always guarantee you get paid. Always. So, like, that, or Square Enix set some stupidly steep sales figures.
It's
because
probably the latter, because we're talking about Square Enix.
Well, yeah, you know what? You're right, because Tomb Raider sold 7 million copies, and Square Enix said, yeah, it's not good enough. Or Guardians of the Galaxy sold 4 or 5 million copies or whatever.
That was a great game, by the way. That was an excellent game, Guardians.
Yeah.
I don't understand how they're not happy with it. Like,
yeah, and that's so. This is the same reason Dead Island 2 isn't a thing. The devs get an advance to finance the game and give up the IP in exchange. Yeah, that's a dumbass decision. Never do that. That is an incredibly stupid thing to do. Like, if they want to publish it and... What? No, don't ever. Giving up your... Like, okay, here's the thing. What bargaining chips does People Can Fly have?
I don't know. Don't quote me 100%. I will say, as of last month, People Can Fly had not made any additional revenue from the game because they hadn't met Square Enix targets. It may have changed since then. Maybe this DLC will change it. But as of last month, yeah, they hadn't got any additional revenue from them.
I hope Square Enix goes under. I really do.
They got
Fuck
Final
all
Fantasy
you Final
14,
Fantasy
man.
fans.
It makes way too much money for some reason.
Well, it's gotten a lot better for the people that enjoy it, but I want them to go under because look, Square Enix obviously has no idea how to make original IPs. We're on 16 of Final Fantasies. Don't tell me they do. Fuck you.
And let's be honest, 14, it's good, but it's also pulling everything from all the other Final Fantasies.
Their financial solvency that they're incapable of seemingly keeping a thing is like scary how bad they are at it. That company bewilders me in so many ways. But alright, here we are. I think this looks great. I'm gonna play it. I hope People Can Fly can get out from under them. I hope this sells well. I hope a bunch of things happen for them. Square Enix has... Like, whoever's doing the most shitty thing at the current time becomes public enemy number 1. So obviously at the moment, Diablo Immortal and Blizzard and Activision are public enemy number 1 with all their netties and all that bullshit, right? But public enemy number 2 is absolutely Square Enix. Because, and then again, maybe because they sold off all those franchises, they aren't. But they sold off all the beloved franchises that weren't getting sequels. So now maybe they will get sequels, which is maybe a good thing.
Yeah, I'm viewing it as a good thing. I think Embracer's Just from what I've seen so far, I think it's going to be good for Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal.
But if you aren't owned by Square Enix, man, or if you're owned currently by Square Enix, it looks like that's a real fun time. Man, yeah, I feel so bad for them. I hope they get out of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I will say this looks great. The original, release of Outriders was great. So if you want to play it and you've got Game Pass, it is on there. It is. Yeah, you should play this.
True that. I just put this on here because it was fucking weird. PC building simulator. Do we?
Yeah, this would just piss me off because I could build a great PC in this, but not in real life because everything's super expensive. And I don't got $5,000 for a graphics card.
You know what we're gonna have? I fucking swear on God, I don't believe in God. This is gonna happen at some point. We're gonna have do your taxes simulator at some point.
It probably already exists.
And I swear to fuck. Oh man. That why? Alright, you wanted to talk about Shredder's Revenge.
Yes. Two things. One, this is the good pizza. Well, no,
sure.
just I mean this like reminds me so much of the classic like games that I played with my friends and my brother so much. Like they've got it down to a T. Like it looks and feels the exact same. I love that they added Casey in it, and they just announced that, by the way. It has 6-player co-op. Yes. That is insane in my opinion. And also, big win, day one Game Pass.
Oh yeah, I do actually remember hearing about that. Yeah, so
day one Game Pass. That is a big win, and I wonder if that also means that we're going to get day one Game Pass on the Turtles collection, because alongside this, they're making the TMNT collection, which is all the old games, kind of like remastered on modern stuff, so that they play fine, like all of the old games. It's something like 13 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games, and I'm a big TMNT fan, so I'm just I'm geeking out.
Is this? Yeah, no. This is just like it's an additional. It's another.
This is
Teenage
a brand
Mutant
new
Ninja Turtles co-op game.
Yeah, this is a brand new, its own thing. And it looks great. I can't wait to play it.
Very much in the style.
Separate from it, there's the collection.
Yeah. Okay. So very much in the style and the vein of like arcade cabinet video games that you spend hundreds of dollars or quarters.
Yeah, I mean, I used to play this stuff on like my, you played like the old Turtles games on the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, this was it. Oh, it looks so good.
I had seen some stuff about this. It's not, these types of games aren't super my cup of tea. And I guess maybe I was catching a little bit of the fatigue because like we were talking about, we've seen, God, so many, like the number of shows that I've watched that were just snooze fests that I could not. Man, they put me to sleep so hard. The Future Game Show was good. NetEase looking at Once Human was okay. Future of Play Direct Show, I fell the fuck asleep at, dude. Oh my god. The Wholesome Games Show, everything was an indie dev pixel art. Nothing to stand out. And I think that would be my biggest, clearest message to indie devs. Do something to stand out. Stop making pixel art games. They all, unless you have an artist on board who is giving you a very unique aesthetic look, nobody cares. They all look the same. No one's gonna buy your game. It's not your big break you think it is.
But see, that's where I'd say this game, cashes in, because it's pixel art, most definitely, but it's also pixel art that is the classic nostalgic Turtles pixel art. Like, this is exactly what you remember, but in 4K.
It has a targeted audience that it's going for. Yeah, it has an established targeted audience that it's going for. I think is the big thing. Like, this is meant for certain people. Do I give a shit about this game, or am I gonna play it? No, but you and tons of other people do, which is the big thing.
Yeah, I'm just I think it's crazy that they got day one Game Pass. Also that they've got 6-player co-op, and it's
Yeah.
like you can do that local or online. So you can, if you got a big enough TV and you got the friends, invite them over and play 6-player local co-op, which is something that isn't really done anymore. But
No.
that's how you played these games back in the day. So it's really good that they added that in.
Large amounts of co-op in general is not something that's done anymore. And it's kind of frustrating. We were literally talking about like Battlefield 2042 has the 0-hour update, which is pretty okay. We like it a lot. We've been playing it a lot in the Discord. But the problem that we're having is that max party size is 4. And it's like, why? Like, why couldn't you make the max party size like, I don't know, 8, and then you could have 8 squads of 8, which is 64, which it's their games are 128 players, so you would have 8 squads of 8 on each team. So like, yeah, one thing that game developers aren't doing, and I think this game is doing something that honestly might attract a ton of people, being able to play with all your friends. I can't tell you how many times in the Discord we have a problem of, hey, do you want to play this game? Sure. Okay. Such and such and such wants to come along. Oh, well, that's too many people. Okay, well, we'll just not play it because we don't want to exclude people.
Yeah.
And so we're not playing your game because we literally can't play with enough. Like, fucking allow us to play with whoever the fuck, as many people as we want. I have no idea why they didn't allow squads of 8 in Battlefield. That's 8 squads of 8. That's 64 people on each side. 124 people. Why is there not a server browser? Or they don't even have to have 8 squads of 8. They can still have 16 squads of 4. Okay? Why is there not a server browser, though, where me and my friends can all go join the same server and play? We were talking about this. Battlefield has literally killed a whole subset of their community called platoons. There are platoons of people that are usually around 64 people, a whole team in Battlefield, and they will go play on their server, all on one team, or they will invite, or they will just take over one side of the server. Because of Battlefield 2042, they have completely ostracized that subset of people. What the fuck is with developers just ostracizing people these days by not including co-op options?
Yeah, I don't know. It seemed like everybody wanted to do just online for a while, and then they just started removing co-op completely, and I don't get why. But luckily, there's some games that are recognizing that co-op is good and adding it in. And yeah, like if they release this game without co-op, just co-op period, like 6-player is over the top, and I'm super excited about it. But if they release this game without co-op, I'd be shitting on it right now because you don't play a Turtles game without co-op
in the streets. Yeah, developers not having co-op. I don't know what. It makes me mad. It makes me mad that they're not doing these kinds of things, but it is what it is. Maybe they will learn and understand from the market that, hey, people want these things. There were 2 other minor things I wanted to look at and just show the trailers for. But aside from that, how's your E3 been so far? You excited?
Kind of like I said earlier, like I'm not. It hasn't been horrible, but I'm looking to Microsoft to save this thing. My hopes are on Microsoft and the Microsoft Bethesda showcase because nothing's really knocked it out of the park for me. Like Call of Duty looks great, TMNT looks great. There's a few that look great, but nothing's really like. None of these shows have blown me away yet. I'm ready for something to blow me away.
Totally agree. There was also Ludo. Is this the one? Yeah, okay. This is the weird. This was there was the Do Not Open was a psychological horror game. This is the psychological horror game that's about getting out of your house. And like if you watch this, he's watching a CRT monitor playing a tape, a VHS. And they're walking towards the door, and then that door opens. And so I'm like, all right, I'm done. Nah, that's it. I'm good, dude. There's something particularly creepy, like just time-wise, about watching a video being played that has events that are either directly the same or extremely similar, happening in real time. Something about that dude just fucks with me hardcore. I am not about that life. And this game kind of hits that on that head, that psychological element where I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm good. I'd rather deal with a million jump scares than that kind of psychological horror. But I mean, like, if you're interested in it, it fucking looks freaky as shit. Shit like this too. This little fucking post-it note. Fuck this. Do not stare at. And then it has this little post-it note with a smiley over it. And I assume that says me underneath it. Or it. But it's like, what do you mean?
Did you see
fucking mean?
Did you see what was it? It was Forever Skies. Kind of gave me like a Subnautica / No Man's Sky feel. Did you see that?
Forever Skies.
I'm curious. It's I have to see more, but it looks interesting. It gives me a very Subnautica / No Man's Sky feel, which can be great games.
Okay, so here it is. We'll finish this trailer real fast.
Okay. Yeah, that trailer is creepy, by the way.
Yeah, it is. It has like a real creepypasta kind of vibe to it that I'm not. No thanks, I'm good. Right, remember to watch that in a second. I watched this for a second. Ooh. This looks.
Yeah, it piqued my interest. I have to see more, but it piqued my interest. It's got a good vibe to it. Like, it's giving me the right vibe so far.
To be honest with you, yeah, this looks dope. I have thalassophobia. I hate. Here's the thing about deep oceans that I hate. You can't see what's there. You also can't see what's not there, which is what I hate. Is there a bottom? Probably. Do I know that there's a bottom? No. And I can't see it either. So
Be glad you're not in my D&D game. Literally 2 weeks ago. No, literally, just the way the world works in coincidences, man. Literally 2 weeks ago in my D&D game, I have them going on some vision quest thing where they have to individually face their fears, and one of the player characters has thalassophobia, and they're deeply afraid of like the open seas and stuff. And I designed an entire like session around that. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. But I was like, yeah, I can't believe you just said that because I didn't know that about you. And I literally just did a thing about that.
Well, here's the thing is like I played like 60 or 70% of Subnautica and then I just kind of stopped. But I enjoyed Subnautica because it was a wonderfully interesting exploration game. And when you're exploring a unique and beautiful environment like this, there is something to it that you just want to keep going and you want to keep finding more and you want to keep looking at stuff and you want to dive deeper and find the mystery. And it's even better when they layer in lore and world building and all this stuff in underneath it. That makes it super interesting. So this looks dope to me. And and I want to play that. It kind of looks like you're building this barge that you travel around on exploring this world. And repair it and deal with the environment. So I think that looks dope.
It's coming out on Steam. It's apparently supposed to come out this year, but there isn't actually a release date yet.
Oh, I just literally clicked from one thing to the next. Apparently there's Alien Fireteam's Elite Pathogen. It's the upcoming expansion to Alien Fireteam's Elite. Which is the third-person Left 4 Dead style game. Themed in aliens. And apparently there's a Poothy. I missed this somehow. There's probably a lot of things that I have.
There's so much. I mean, and you know,
There really
it's easy to get
is.
drowned out because a lot of them are smaller games, and I want to give them their shot, but there's just, like I said, this is the indie
Well,
year. We talked about it. This is
Yeah,
oof.
yeah. And the other thing I think that's not happening because of this is that normally things are centralized. So like if it doesn't show up at Ubisoft, it shows up at EA. If it doesn't show up at EA, it shows up at PlayStation, or it shows up at Nintendo, or it shows up at Xbox, or it shows up at the PC Gaming Show, which we haven't seen yet, or Xbox yet. But like normally if these indie games don't show up somewhere, they show up in another place. Well, now we're having showcases just for indie games. Like, I feel like this is the first time the gaming industry is bloating up a little bit too much. And there's just so much shit for us to do. Here's another one I've never seen. Like, literally, I just let it play. This is Wanted Dead. This is apparently a trailer for something else I've never fucking seen before. So, okay, I don't know what that is. I have seen this. You just linked this to me. So this is an RTS?
Oh, I don't think it's an RTS. No, it's like a co-op. Play with your friends. You're a dwarf. I don't know. I gotta see more. I'm interested.
Is it like a survival game?
Maybe. It kind of looks like it, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm down with this. Honestly, I think it could be incredibly cool. Yeah, because like you're building your own little.
You're exploring the dwarven depths, and I think it is survival, but it's got that Lord of the Rings twist on it, and I think that could make it something unique that would make it stand out to me, you know.
Yes, well, I mean, Lord of the Rings, I'm down, dude. Well, there's certain aesthetics.
Plus, it looks like
it's kind of.
It looks like it's underground, like completely underground.
Yeah.
No,
everything underground would be dope.
Yeah,
that would be incredibly dope. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I want to go play that. I think that would be neat. So anyway, yeah, Wanted Dead. I've not seen this. I don't know where this came from. Apparently, this came from IGN's Summer of Gaming. I didn't watch all of that show. I watched like part of it, and then I was like, but what the fuck? Why is there cooking in the middle of what the fuck is going on?
Mix it with both hands, unless you have only one.
Yeah, this would. I guess it's their trailer gimmick. I don't know what's going on there.
All right. Okay. You know, speaking of trailer gimmicks or just gimmicks in general, watching Devolver Digital's showcase, my favorite thing that came out of that was like when they were freaking out about like the machine becoming the conglomerate. If you haven't watched the Devolver Digital showcase, go watch it. It's fucking hilarious. It's 15 minutes well spent. But when they're talking about the machine becoming the conglomerate, and they're, oh no, Microsoft just bought Bethesda again. That fucking shit killed me, dude. I thought that was such an on point joke. Oh, here's Gungrave Gore. What? There's so much shit that I've missed. Alright, I'm gonna pause that and actually just, there was a really cool landscape in this game to start with. This is apparently made by one guy, and apparently it's made by a couple others now. When you look at this, you can really tell that it's made by one guy, because he's not a landscaper. You're like, what do you mean? This is awesome. There's some really, like, There's some really like junior dev shit you can see. This is made with a terrain tool, okay? Particle effects, a river that just like seemingly is level ground with the rest of the terrain. It's not how rivers work.
It's also like got flat edges and
And then there are just trees in a single line along the riverbed here on both sides that are aliased really badly. And so to the point that you almost can't even tell they're there. So yeah, that stuff just like this is made by one guy who did combat for it. I don't know if it's Unreal Engine 3 or 4 or whatever. Good luck to that dude. It looks like Shadow Warrior with a sci-fi twist to it. And a black hole in the sky apparently.
I'm looking to see if there was anything interesting that was announced today that I missed, and I'm seeing like more like horror games and survival, and I'm like, Jesus, this really is survival horror E3.
There was a ton of horror games, dude. There were so many. So yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm really looking forward to the Xbox Bethesda showcase tomorrow. I'm excited for it. Tomorrow night we're gonna do a show at 9 p.m. EST. Okay, it's probably only gonna be an hour to an hour and a half. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. It might be less than an hour because we're just gonna talk about Xbox and the PC gaming show. That's what we're gonna talk about. Okay. And we wanted to do that exclusively then. Because we don't want to wait. We don't want to sit and simmer on everything for a week and then talk about it. We'll talk about it then. So
and there'll be
I'm
more
gonna
to
watch
talk
that show
about next
tomorrow.
week, anyways, because we have a
Yeah,
second Xbox showcase plus a few others too that we would have to
Yeah,
cover.
Capcom's got a thing on Tuesday. It's just, bro, there's so much, and yet it feels like there's so little. Actually, I put it this way. It feels like everything wants my undivided attention for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, this is I think, how do I want to put this?
It's okay. Be mean, Brian. Be mean for once. Go ahead.
No, I'm not being mean. I think what we were talking about, well, I guess I can be mean for the shows that they were like hyping them up to be more than they were and trying to, make them seem like they're amazing when, they're not as amazing as, and you knew that going forward. But going into it, so why did you, Jeff? But anyways, I think COVID had a lot bigger effect on things than people like to think, and I think a lot of things that would have been in this have been delayed because again, Sony had theirs and it didn't show up, and now the big Summer Games Fest one has happened, which is the only other one they would put it in because it's not showing up in the Microsoft one. But again, no God of War. That game is delayed. It is not coming out this year.
So this is funny that you say that. Apparently, there was a statement made this week by somebody inside at Sony saying, no, God of War has not been delayed. We're just not talking about it yet. And I'm like, what?
That
Bitch,
makes
y'all
it sound worse.
I know. It's like, what do you mean? You got 6 months. What do you mean?
Yeah, that makes it sound worse. That make it seem like that game is not in a state that they want to show, but they're gonna force it to release. No, delay it.
I
Please delay it.
I think Sony's struggle busing. I really think they are. I think they don't know what they're doing, what's going on. Not that they don't know what they're doing. I think they don't know where their next big hit is coming from. Which is why they're making them remaster The Last of Us. Not remaster, remake completely. Because it's like, do something the fans will enjoy. And it's like, what? Because, like, okay, let's think about this. Ghost of Tsushima. How long till another one of them? Horizon Zero Dawn. One of those just came out. Oh, this is Madison, the full... Oh, okay. Madison, oh god, I am skipping this. So Madison is the brainchild of somebody that was working on the next set. You remember that PT playable
Yeah.
trailer? The
Yeah.
inspiration for Madison was PT, and so I was like, yeah, no, I'm good, dude. Oh, this is some boba ass. Hashtag banned? Anyway, I'm gonna let this
What?
play
Yeah.
out
What?
while I talk. I don't think they know. Sony doesn't know where their next game's coming from. There's no Ghost of Tsushima in the nearest future. There's no Horizon Zero Dawn in the near future.
The next Spider-Man is next year, maybe.
Yeah, next year, if not 2 years. Who knows how long they need to work on that, right? FromSoft does whatever the fuck they want. After Elden Ring, they have fuck you money. They don't need Sony's money anymore, right? Elden Ring sells 15 million copies. They have Call of Duty money. They're telling Sony, suck my chode or pay me like,
Plus, they take
$500 million.
and they historically take a long time between games, so yeah.
Yeah. So even if there is an exclusive on the horizon for FromSoft, 3 years, 4 years,
What is wait? Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Hideo Kojima, he's been on record, like apparently they're working on a Death Stranding 2. But he's been on record saying he wants to do less video games and more cinematic shit, so he's not gonna make video games as much anymore.
And yeah, Death Stranding 2 is probably still a few years out, anyways. If it's just
Yeah, 2 to
stuff's
3
getting
years.
leaked. Yeah, and they got Naughty Dog just doing Last of Us stuff instead of not even a new Uncharted or like I don't know Jack and Daxter or something. Like you just
That came out 2 years ago. No new Jack and Daxter either. Not for another 2 to 3 years. So when you think about first party titles and Sony's big commitment to them, they have a minimum 2 to 3 years, aside from God of War, minimum 2 to 3 years before they have at least more than 3 or 4 big first party games in a single year. So they're panicking. They're fucked.
yeah. I think that's why the remakes and remasters are coming. Which let's be 100% honest. Xbox isn't in a much better position. They've had Halo didn't do that great.
Hey, wait. They haven't had their press conference yet. We don't know.
Yeah. Well,
All
yeah,
right?
I'm saying so far, from the looks of this year. But yeah, there's been some rumors that the Outer Wilds 2 started development before the Outer Worlds. I'm sorry, Outer Worlds 2 technically started development a month before the release of the first Outer Worlds game, and that Avowed was already well under development when that game released, and before they announced it, and it might be farther along, and it might actually be releasing this year, and they're gonna,
How big is Obsidian, dude?
I'm like, what the fuck? I've started to hear all these rumors and leaks, and I'm like, what? Yeah,
Okay.
people are saying they're about to have like a bunch of things release, like just
Obsidian has Grounded, the Honey I Shrunk the Kids survival game. They have Outer Worlds. They have Avowed, which is their RPG set in Pillars of Eternity. They are hang on. I'm actually gonna up something here.
Outer Worlds 2, Avowed, Grounded, maybe something else like another Pathfinder or Pillars of Eternity or something.
Okay, yeah. Outer Worlds 2, Avowed, Grounded. Well, I mean, I guess they've not been working on anything since yeah, there's nothing else on their plate. They were working on Outer Worlds and Grounded, so I mean, Grounded's kind of wrapping up and getting to the point of 1.0. Outer Worlds is done. They move straight into Outer Worlds 2. Avowed they've apparently been working on for years, and yeah, it might come out this year. I hope it comes out this year, dude. Holy shit, that would be that
And
the
then there's
reason to go back and play Pillars of Eternity.
the rumor of Bethesda putting them on something, if you know what I mean.
Dude, can you imagine? Like, it's funny that Xbox is just becoming the it place. Like, they're the go-to motherfucker. Can you like, bruh?
It's good. I like the cycle, because when one of the major players, Xbox or PlayStation, sits too long in that hot seat in the number one, they get complacent and do stupid stuff like Sony is right now.
Well,
We need that competition.
Okay, because I just I just found this thing and I'm gonna start listing stuff and you're gonna go, what? Here's everything that Xbox owns. Xbox owns 343, okay? Alpha Dog Games, Arcane Studios. What's Arcane working on, dude? Bethesda, obviously. Which there's technically two Bethesdas. There's Bethesda Game Studios and Bethesda Softworks. I think Bethesda Softworks is the Texas Austin studio that made 76.
Arcane just did Deathloop, right? But other than that, yeah, what are they working on next?
Right, yeah. So, well, hopefully, maybe they're still 2 or 3 years out. But, well, Deathloop was 2020? 2021?
I think it was last year, right?
Yeah, it was last year. Okay, but then what was the other game they released?
Prey, Dishonored.
Yes, Prey. When was the Prey release date?
I think the last Prey was like 2018, 2017, something like that.
So, okay. 2017. Yeah, you're right. So that was 4 years in between games. Okay. So maybe we won't see anything from Arcane. But Bethesda Studios, Softworks, Compulsion Games. What the fuck are they working on? Are they just a side studio? Okay. Double Fine, which just had Psychonauts 2. Oh yeah! id Software. I'm assuming they're making a third Doom, but In Exile, Machine Games, Mojang, Ninja Theory. What? Ninja Theory, Obsidian, Playground Games, Rare. What's Rare working on? What the fuck is Rare working on? We've not heard anything out of Rare for a long time. Roundhouse Studios, Tango Games, The Coalition, that's Gears of War, The Initiative, Turn 10 Studios, which we know is working on Fable and they do Forza stuff, Undead Labs, that's
State of Decay 3, but that's not gonna.
Yes,
I don't think they're gonna be here. I think that's a next year thing.
I think they might show gameplay, and I think it might be early 2023. That's a maybe, but it's a very.
I looked it up because I was Compulsion hasn't done anything since 2018.
Yeah. Okay. World's Edge. I don't even know who the fuck they are. Xbox has their own internal studio that they do stuff on. And then obviously there's the entire studio of ZeniMax. ZeniMax owns and operates Elder Scrolls Online. So are they just in maintenance mode working on ESO, or are they full-time pushing expansions and content out for ESO? Like, there's so many unanswered studios about, like, who's doing what. So I think Xbox can have... Okay.
This is the big one, in my opinion. Because they just had a huge hit, Playground. Do you think they show anything about Fable? Or do you think it's too early?
Too early.
I agree. I think
Here's why.
Year at earliest.
Here's why. Playground has made racing games for how many years? Like 7, 8 years, whatever. They have to first get comfortable with the idea of making something else other than a racing game. They have to get comfortable with the engine that they're utilizing. And then on top of that, not only do they have to get comfortable with the engine that they're utilizing, but they have to like. I think Fable is like a 5 to 6 year developmental game. I don't think that's a 3 to 4 year. I don't think that's a 3 to 4 year game purely because I think you want to build deep RPG systems that keep the player playing this for extended periods of time. And are they going to reboot the whole thing? Or are they going to build off of Albion previously? That's the other big question. There's a lot of stuff they have to decide from a writing, and whatnot. Oh yeah, okay. Playground will show the Horizon 5 Hot Wheels expansion, so we're gonna see that tomorrow. Turn 10 Studios, who makes the Motorsport, Forza Horizon Motorsport. I bet you we see Forza Horizon or Forza Motorsport
That makes sense,
7. That'll be there tomorrow, and that'll probably be a spring 2023 release, because they showed a trailer of it last year that was just like some cars at Laguna Seca, and that was it. So I think they will show us Turn 10.
Ninja Theory will probably be there with Hellblade 2 too.
Yeah, the other thing I guess is that aside from all the studios that they own, what announcements are we going to get about Game Pass? Call of Duty coming to Game Pass on day one's at the top of my list, and I guarantee you it will. And Warzone will remain free. Warzone's going to be free and separate from Call of Duty. Watch it happen. Well, it already is, so there's no reason they would change the status quo. But then the regular multiplayer and the story will be day one Game Pass for Xbox. Probably, aside from all the studios that they own, surely they've contracted or hired some people for some exclusivity deals. Some first party studios that way, because Xbox is getting fucking aggressive, dude. They are aggressive right now. Because they have the advantage, and I think they know it, and they want to press it as hard as they can.
Oh, I forgot about this. We might be seeing multiple things from Ninja Theory, because Ninja Theory also showed Hellblade off at one of the other shows, and I was like, why would they do that if they're Xbox? But I forgot they're working on two things right now: Hellblade and the project. We don't know the actual name of it, though. I guess this might be the thing called Project Mara, which is like they're making like a horror game.
Yeah.
So Ninja Theory might be showing off something with that.
Okay, that could be interesting. So, but okay, Fable was announced in 2020. With COVID and everything like that, I would say their development was slowed down pretty significantly. But I'd also argue they were probably working on this game about 6 months to a year beforehand. Right? They when they showed this off, they have maybe been working on it at a year at this point, and they just wanted to let people know, hey, we're working on it, right? So at this point, Fable has maybe 3 years of development on it. If we do see it tomorrow, it's not a lot. I don't think we get gameplay, and I think it's the announcement that it's releasing next year. Probably late next year, probably winter of 2023. I would be surprised if we get gameplay or 2023 spring release date.
All right, so the next question is apparently Avowed has been in development even longer than this one, so it's probably most definitely going to be there. But if what we were told is true, Outer Worlds 2 has been in development for 3 years now. Will it be there?
I don't think Outer Worlds is there because I think they're going to focus on Avowed. Because Avowed's been in development longer than Outer Worlds 2 has, yeah?
Yeah, apparently they were working on Avowed before Outer Worlds ever released, and they started working on Outer Worlds 2 like right before Outer Worlds released.
So I think tomorrow we get Avowed, and I think there's a heavy focus on Avowed. I think there's gameplay, and I think it releases this fall or spring 2023. And I think they save Outer Worlds for either next year or 2024 would be the smart move. Because that spaces it out and gives them a lot of time for quality products. If they come with Avowed tomorrow and they have a big thumping RPG, why are they going to be like, and here's more Outer Worlds? No, they're going to be like, okay, let's relax. Let's keep developing Outer Worlds 2. Let's spend more time on it. Let's keep things rolling. So that way, when it releases 2 years from now, people are again enthralled and amazed by it and keeping track of it. And so, oh man, maybe we don't see Fable then. Maybe we see Avowed tomorrow, and that's the big headline, right? Avowed. And then we see Fable next year, because you wouldn't want to put one RPG up against another, right?
True. Maybe we see Avowed and then something with a Fallout.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. So maybe we get Avowed and all that stuff, and then next year we'll get Fable, and then the year after that we'll get the Outer Worlds 2. So it just seems like RPG stacked on top of RPG, stacked on top of RPG. And then somewhere in there you're going to get the zombie game 3. Yeah.
State of Decay 3 is going to come in
There
there.
you go. State of Decay 3 at some point. And then Hellblade, and then there's going to be a Gears of War thing, and then Forza at some point, and then whatever the other ones are working on. Dude, Microsoft is stacked like a brick shit house. We're going to see a lot of
Starfield stuff, too.
Oh, Starfield. Yep, you're right. We'll see Starfield. I think we'll also see, what was it called? Red Days?
Redfall. Redfall,
Redfall. Right? Yes. So I think we'll see gameplay of that, too. Because it's also been delayed to spring 2023.
I'm actually really curious, because you brought up some of these developers that they own, and it had me like looking into them. And like Compulsion made like Contrast and We Happy Few, which were both games I loved, and they haven't done anything since We Happy Few. Since 2018, they released it in 2018, and it's been like added to Game Pass and different bundles and stuff since. But I even checked their Twitter; they haven't been talking about what they're working on. Nothing. They've been dead silent, and I'm like, what are you guys doing? You got to be coming up with something, because that was 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Like, what?
Okay, so I'm mistaken. Arcane is working on... Well, Arcane has a French studio too, don't they? Anyway, Arcane is working on Redfall. That's their game they're working on. So yeah, they went Deathloop in 2021 and Redfall in 2023.
Okay, so we'll see the Redfall stuff.
Yeah. I don't think we get anything else out of Arcane. That's their shtick for right now. Although I'm sure the main studio is working on something else. Dude, Xbox is gonna bring the fire tomorrow. I'm telling you, bro. I'm actually very much looking forward to Redfall. Look, everybody's really digging vampire. Have you noticed how much vampire shit there is lately?
Yeah,
Blood Hunt is making.
It's coming back.
I know, and I'm in love with it. I feel like a '90s goth kid again, bro. Like. Not that I was a goth kid in the 90s. I was like 6 years old in the 90s. But you'd go to a mall and you'd see those goth kids with the trip pants and the chains and the eyeliner that were really into... Or when Hot Topic used to sell fake fangs, not just around Halloween, all year round they would sell fake fangs. And I was like, who needs these? And I'm like, they're kids going for a certain aesthetic. That's who. But vampires are making a comeback, dude, and I gotta tell you, I love it. I love vampires. I love I love the lore and all the shit, and I think they're just cool as fuck. Blood Hunt, the Masquerade, the Battle Royale, Vampire the Masquerade, still being worked on, but delayed with another studio now. We don't have any news on that. We haven't gotten anything either, so I'm very curious on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that. That's kind of like in the same position the Prince of Persia remakes in. It just kind of like took it from the studio that was running it because it was
maybe we hear something. Maybe we hear something tomorrow at the PC Gaming Show.
It's possible.
Maybe also Stalker. So they delayed development. It was supposed to come out spring this year. They delayed development because of, understandably, the war in Ukraine. They said a couple weeks ago or a month ago that they started development back up again. Okay. So, do you think we get anything about Stalker, like maybe a release date or something like that? Maybe we get from the PC gaming show we get a Stalker spring 2023 release date, because when they delayed the game they had about 6 months left to go. So if they just walk into the if they are able to walk into the office and start everything back up, it should take them about 6 months roughly, hopefully, to finish it up. So that would mean
Yeah,
a spring quarterly 2023 release.
Yeah, I was trying to think. I don't think it'll come out this year, but I just remembered something that we've all forgotten that I think is going to be in this show.
Go on.
Because it's the Xbox Bethesda show. And they mentioned it and then never talked about it again for a few years, and now's the time to bring it back. Indiana Jones.
Oh, yeah.
They're making a new Indiana Jones game, remember?
They are.
I think we're going to get something here. Like, the only thing we've known is that they're making it, and we got, like, a splash screen. That's it. But they've been, Todd was, like, hyping that up, and there's been talk around it. I think they're far enough along, they're going to show us something. I think that's going to be here as well. I think from Bethesda, we're going to get Indiana Jones and Starfield. I think from Obsidian, we're getting Avowed. I think from Ninja Theory, we'll get Project Mara, because they've already showed off Hellblade 2 stuff. From Compulsion and Exile, I have no clue. Like, what the fuck are they working on? Oh my god, yeah. There's some gaps here. I'm wondering what we're gonna get, and then you got to think like Microsoft is not afraid to include like all these like third party, things in their shows, because they can be like, oh, it's coming to Game Pass. So like, what kind of stuff is going to be announced at the Microsoft show, even though it's not a Microsoft product,
I was thinking maybe it will be kind of dry, but the more that we sit here and think about it, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a packed fucking show, isn't it? All right.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, they said they're doing a second one. Maybe there's a reason they're doing two.
Well, I think the second one.
Later.
It's been 4 years since the Elder Scrolls 6 teaser. Yeah, but we understood. Okay. Here's what I'll say about Elder Scrolls 6.
After. Yeah, that's not coming out until after.
Yeah, that's not coming out until after Starfield. Look, Todd said, haha, Elder Scrolls 6, so everybody would shut the fuck up. That's all haha, Elder Scrolls 6. Okay, but we're making Starfield first. That's what, if we see, look, we're getting Starfield and hopefully a bunch of Starfield. We maybe get Elder Scrolls 6, 2024, 2025. Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
I wouldn't see it in this show at all. Maybe it appears in next year's show, but it's also like, still a year or two away. And, it's just appearing in next year's show. It's not even going to appear in this year's show. No way.
You know what hurts me inside? Brian, you're not going to like this.
Okay.
You're not gonna like this, Brian. I was 19 when I played Skyrim. I'm going to be probably 32 or 33 before I play the next Elder Scrolls game!
Making me feel old, Guns.
That is more than a decade between games, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I was in my 20s when I played Skyrim, so I'm older than you, so.
God!
Yeah, that's a big gap. That's a big gap. But I mean, it sucks, but I also get it, because they wanted to do something new, they wanted to, man, but they got to let go of this whole, like, only we work on these properties, or they need to grow or something, like we were talking about before. They got to let go of that for Fallout. They're going to have to let someone take some Fallout.
They did. Fallout 76. It went badly. And they did. Well, they were kind of forced to. Elder Scrolls Online. It went badly to start with. It's gotten a lot better. But to start with, it went badly.
Doing well these days, I will admit that. But yeah, at the beginning, it was...
So the 2 times that they've let other people take properties off their hands, aside from Obsidian when they made New Vegas, it's gone badly. So I understand their reticence to be like, nah. Okay. If you guys want to look at any of the stuff that we've been looking at, the website is E3recap, all one word.com, E3recap.com. This literally has pages and pages and pages of every trailer being showed at every event. It even gives you a schedule of all the events and where you can watch them if you would like. Feel free to go over there and take a look at it. I'll put it in the description and in chat right now.
And we still got what? Xbox, PC, Gorilla, Capcom. Is there anything after that?
Yes.
Is that it?
So there is. Well, the Guerrilla Collective 3.5 I don't think will be anything special, and I'm not going to pay attention to it. The Xbox and Bethesda Gaming Showcase, PC Gaming Show, the Capcom Showcase, then Xbox's Extended Gaming Showcase, which is on the 14th, and then, Brian, later this week, 10.0 Live at 10.0Con.
Oh. For you Warframe lovers out there.
Yeah. I've quit playing Warframe. But the shit doesn't stop, like ever. Ever.
Yeah, you know something we didn't talk about, and I don't want to go deep into it. So, like, if you do, I might just zone out. I'm sorry. No. But Netflix had, like, their Geek Week or whatever, and all I got from that is, hey, Castlevania and Arcane went well, so we're going to try to make an anime out of everything. And I'm like, oh, God.
Oh, yeah. I saw
Some of the ones some of them are, like, really beloved to me, like Dragon Age and stuff, and I'm like, please don't fuck this up. Please don't fuck this up. I don't need you to fuck this up, please.
I remember saying that they're gonna do some additional anime, and I was like, well, one of them will be bad, I guarantee it. The rest of them might be okay.
Yeah, some
I
additional
think
anime,
that's
apparently it's like 10 or 15. Like, what the fuck?
I think that is probably going to do it for us, though, here on live service. We're going to do a show tomorrow night. We're going to talk about Xbox conference and the PC gaming show. So remember to watch them both, Brian. Xbox, PC gaming show. Shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys tomorrow, and then after that on Saturday. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed our unusually long E3 coverage. I am Guns. You can catch me here on YouTube or Twitch if you're already watching. Follow me on Twitter and TikTok. Go follow me on TikTok and like my videos. It helps. It really boosts discovery. Thank you. Okay, bye. Brian, you can follow on Twitter at 7bitbrian, the number 7 BITBRIAN. I think that about does it. I'm E3'd out, and we haven't even had a proper E3.
Go play Goat Simulator 3, aka Dead Island.
Probably actually gonna go play Battlefield. It's been pretty good, dude. It's been pretty good. We'll see you guys next week though. You guys have, or no, we'll see you tomorrow. Fuck. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.